is it just me, or does it feel like we're on the verge of kind of the whole house of cards falling down? Now, that's nothing to do with Trump. I mean, I guess there's a little bit to do with Trump, but, in general, the past 15 years or so, with the run-up that the markets had, the stock market, I mean, the valuations of things, equities, things like that is just pretty crazy. But even when you look at things like gold and silver, I mean, obviously we've had a good run since 2020. And so obviously people would say that, oh, there's a lot of fundamental to that. Yes and no, right? I mean, there's reasons why gold and silver have had the run that they had. But is it sustainable? Is it going to stay like that? Or, like anything, is there going to be the reversion back to the mean? I don't know. I mean, especially in the short term, right? I mean, that's anyone's guess. But it does feel like something's coming around the corner that, can push things back down to a more normal standard. Now, the question there is, with the way that prices have behaved with gold and silver, particularly if you have a stack with, any type of higher premium stuff, is this the time to unload? And are higher premium, items, silver or gold, actually selling, with that higher premium? I'm interested because it's been a while since I've sold anything like either online or, even to someplace like the coin shop to kind of, trade what I have for something different. And, the knock on high premium stuff is, you got to find a buyer that's willing to reimburse you for whatever you paid up front, especially, in the times when gold and silver is really fluctuating. But it seems like, silver and gold in particular, has kind of held its own for a while, right? So with gold, I would feel like, you're going to get your money's worth. With silver, though, maybe not, right? Because silver is more the common man's, stacking medium. And so my question is, with a lot of the high premium stuff that I have, like, obviously it takes the time and effort to kind of piece it out, whether it's, more, government minted bullion like these guys, or collectibles, things like this, or, our favorite, President Xi's 30-gram panda, whatever it is, you got to have, money to shell out to be able to pay for these things. And these days, it doesn't look like the common man's, sitting on tons of liquid cash. So to me, at some point, the game's got to come back down to earth. The question is, where does it start, right? The reason I mention like the stock market is, again, typically when you see a big drop like that in the market, it comes back, but it usually takes a little bit more time. There's a saying, like, with regard to the stock market, in regard to like technical analysis or things like that, all gaps have to be filled. And so when you look at the run that the market had on the way down, basically just fell off a cliff. I think after Trump's stock market announcement, it lost 11% in 2 days or something like that. It's never happened before. Leave it to Trump to break records, negative records. But here we are back, near the highs on the indexes. And so where does it go from here? It starts to become uncharted territory. Now, the real question there is, like, again, people think that the stock market represents fundamental things like profits, and no, it doesn't. There's no company that you can pull up that represents anything near what, their profit margins are, their earnings per share. The multiples are insane. And, does that mean that it can't keep going up? Absolutely not. That's not what it means. But we're at a place now where economically we've been slowing for a while, right? We've heard since 2022, recession. Economic Ninja was telling me how it was going to be the Depression. Yeah, that never came, Economic Ninja, you freaking hack. But, at the end of the day, things have been, and again, aside from the politics, like, if you really understand what's been going on for the past 15 years, this system that's addicted to cheap money, low interest rate environment, cheap money, that's when the whole house of cards is built on. And that's why that's why Trump's begging, oh, please cut rates, because they know that, if anything happens, the whole rotten structure is going to come, tumbling down. And it really is at some point. I mean, it's a huge deal to have rates, up. Now, if we were fiscally responsible, as so many people claim that, that they are, or that this and that, then, we would have to have some type of interest rate, right, to have a responsible, economic situation. But in our situation where we've put ourselves, it's not sustainable. And so again, if they cut rates, is that bullish for the market? Absolutely. Why? Because again, money chases return, and if you take away the fixed option of earning interest in some type of interest-bearing account or instrument, well, then the only game in town becomes stocks or real estate or business, if you have the money to do that, which 99% of the people don't. There it is. So things like gold and silver, where does it go? If liquidity starts to increase, or hell, if it starts to decrease and people need liquidity, obviously that would cause some kind of a sell-off, right? It's hard to say what goes on in the next couple months, but I mean, if the first 6 months of the Trump administration are any indication, I mean, it's going to be a wild ride, and I don't think gold and silver are any exception. Again, price doesn't necessarily reflect whatever your reality is. So people think, again, gold and silver are a safe haven. That may be the case, but not necessarily on paper from a dollar perspective, right? Doesn't mean the price is going to be, one direction or the other. So when I'm looking at my stock, I have a ton of high premium stuff. Now, given that it was bought at much lower price levels, it's kind of irrelevant at this point. But, that's becomes the hard part about liquidating any portion of that with the stack is, you don't want to give up your good stuff. You want to get rid of the generic. If it's all going to give you the same price at the end of the day, or relatively the same price, well, I'm going to keep my, higher premium stuff because I can. I don't know who would be buying higher premium stuff in this environment, though, with prices where they are. Again, like, are you thinking it's going to go to, $50, $60 an ounce? It might. I mean, I definitely thought when it was in the high 20s last time that, it really wasn't going to have staying power, but I was wrong. Anything can happen in this environment. But, are you willing to take the risk? And then the question is, too, like, if you liquidate your stack, where's that money going to go? Is it going to go into the stock market? Is it going to go into crypto? Is it going to go, pay off your debt? Whatever it's going to do. I mean, there may be better places for it to be. Think about it. If you're paying, 30% on your credit card and you've got gold or silver sitting around, gold or silver is probably not going to do a 30% return in the, anytime soon. It highly unlikely. Could it happen? I guess. But again, I mean, that would be a smart choice, right? Get rid of some high interest debt to as a liquidating part of liquidating your stack. The thing is, I don't have the impetus to really liquidate. It's just I see no real reason why gold and silver should continue to go up in the short run. And again, people think that, gold is a hedge or silver is a hedge, like from a price standpoint. No. Anytime there's a big sell-off, gold and silver move along right with it. If there's a liquidity crisis, all assets go together, whether it's stock, crypto, real estate, everything goes the same direction. That's just the way it is, at least initially. And so again, I mean, if you can look at these things in advance and kind of situate yourself, well, then you're positioned to take advantage of it. But this environment screams something's not right. I mean, again, nothing's really changed. There's a lot of uncertainty. And for the market, the stock market in particular, to bounce back the way that it has, that quickly, seems like something's wrong. Something's disconnected from reality. And usually when that happens, it comes back to where it should be. Does it mean it's going to crash? No. But there's definitely some type of disconnect. Let me know what you think.